Hey, what is going on, Fan Clan? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Danny Phantom. I am very sorry for my absence over the last few days. For any of you who have kids, I have a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old girl, and they both came down with colds at the end of last week. And unfortunately, when you have little ones, they struggled to sleep on their back, so I kind of had to hold them up. Meaning they were breathing all over my face. And I came down with a pretty nasty cold starting already on Saturday. I went to record on Saturday night, and it was just, I wasn't feeling it. I recorded like 3 times, and every time, I sounded a lot worse than this, and I'm sure I don't sound great right now. But luckily, it's nothing COVID related. I got tested, and that was very unpleasant. That was the first time that I had been exposed to an actual test. I was not a fan. Hopefully I don't have to go through that again. But I got the results back yesterday, and they were negative. I finally started feeling a little bit better last night. I feel much better today. Still not back up to 100%, but getting there slowly but surely. But I had to record a video tonight because battle styles. Oh my goodness, did you guys see all the news? We're going to go over it right now, actually. So I will switch over here to a different screen. This is PokeBeach, just PokeBeach.com, and I'm going to look at PokeGuardian also. But we have some huge news that came out earlier today, late last night actually. So Battle Styles is March's set, introduces new single strike and rapid strike cards. So basically a new mechanic that is being introduced to the game. So we're just going to kind of read here. March's set will be named Battle Styles and will introduce a new battle style mechanic to the Pokemon TCG. Here you can say Urshifu V. Here you can see an Urshifu V labeled as Rapid Strike card and a Houndoom labeled as a Single Strike card. These are the 2 new battle styles. So here is your Rapid Strike Urshifu V. I don't even know if I'm saying that correctly, but this reminds me a lot of the Landorus EX card that did a lot of damage back in the days, especially when you teamed it up with Zubat and Golbat and Crobat. But it's strafe attack for only 1 energy. You may switch this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon, does 30 damage. So real quick, right out of the gate, you can hit for some decent amount of damage, especially when you combine that with some damage modifiers, which we'll talk about in a second. And then you have this really cool looking Houndoom card, which has the ability Single Strike Roar. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for a Single Strike Energy card and attach it to one of your Single Strike Pokemon. Then shuffle your deck. If you attached energy to a Pokemon in that way, put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. So this basically tells us right here, Single Strike Energy means you're going to get new energy cards that are introduced into the meta. So Single Strike cards deliver strong, hard-hitting attacks, while Rapid Strike cards are about sneaky, technical strikes. But it's not just Pokemon that can have a battle style. There will be trainer and energy cards with them too. That's because all the cards of the battle style will be able to work together. The goal of this new mechanic is to encourage players to build decks that focus on one battle style. As you can see on Houndoom, its Single Strike Roar ability allows you to search your deck for a Single Strike Energy to attach to one of your Single Strike Pokemon. There will be a new Emboar with a Fighting Fury stance ability, which allows you to boost the attack damage of all Single Strike Pokemon, and an Octillery with Rapid Strike Search ability, which allows you to search your deck for a Rapid Strike card. This mechanic will continue into future sets. Not all cards will feature a battle style, however, the mechanic is essentially a modern version of Gym Leader Pokemon, Team Aqua and Magma cards, Holland Pokemon, SP Pokemon, etc. cards grouped together under a certain label to work together. The battle style set will release on March 19th, so that's the next main series set that we get. This will be the first main series set in 2020. If you remember, Shining Fates is just kind of a subset, a special set, a holiday set if you want to call it that, but that comes out in February, so a month later we get our next main set. So definitely save your money because you're going to need it apparently. Pokemon is just hitting the gates running in 2020, and we have a main set coming in on March 19th. It will feature over 160 cards, including 60 battle style cards, 12 Pokemon V, 6 Pokemon VMAX cards, 16 full art cards, and 2 special energy. It will be based on Japan's Single Strike Master and Rapid Strike Master Strike sets, which release on January 22nd. Then there was an update at 3 o'clock in the morning this morning. 20 plus cards have just been revealed via YouTube trailer, so you can go check that out. The English booster packs and Elite Trainer boxes have been revealed through a press release, and added several more images. So here is an Empoleon V. That looks really cool. It's got a cool ability here. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, your opponent's basic Pokemon in play have no abilities except for Pokemon with a rule box. Pokemon V, Pokemon GX, etc. have rule boxes. And there was some confusion about this, but if you look down here, it says V rule, so you would see this on any GX card, EX card, so basically any Pokemon that has a rule box like that. So a break card has a rule, but that right there, that word right there would imply that everything would not have an ability. Every basic Pokemon would not have ability except for EX, GX, V. I think the reason that they're calling them rule boxes now is because there's just so many different ultra rares and like expanded, for example. Like you'd have break cards, you would have EXs, you would have GXs, and you would have Vs all in expanded. So if you put that all in the ability, it would become extremely wordy. Then you've got this right here is the single strike Urshifu V. This is the V Max, which has 330 HP. Then it does beat down for 3 colorless. G Max 1 below for 3 fighting and a colorless, 270 damage. Then discard all energy from this Pokemon. This attack's damage isn't affected by effects on your opponent's active Pokemon, so that's pretty cool. This is the Rapid Strike Urshifu V. That's the strafe that we talked about before. This is the Rapid Strike Urshifu V Max, 330 HP. It's a monster. If this Pokemon moved from your bench to the active spot this turn, this attack does 120 more damage. So this is just like what we just had with Golisopod GX from the Burning Shadows set, which is pretty cool. And this is your big boy Tyranitar V. Very, very cool looking card. I really hope that they have a full art version of this. We had a Tyranitar GX, but it didn't get much love because it was so bulky. Cragalanche for 1 dark energy and 2 colorless. Discard the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck. Little bulky attack, and then single strike Crush. Discard the top 4 cards of your deck, but it does 240 damage, which is pretty crazy. Empoleon V introduces a new phrase in its ability called Rule Box. We talked about that before. And these are all of the different pack arts and different styles of sets. So it's really cool because they're coming back with 2 Elite Trainer boxes rather than just 1. We haven't had 2 Elite Trainer boxes, I think, since since Sword and Shield. Rebel Clash only had 1 style, then Darkness Ablaze only had 1 style, and then Vivid Voltage only had 1 style. So we've got 2, a blue and a red one, both obviously featuring the different Urshifu? Urshifu? I can't even say that. These are your 4 pack arts here, and then you've got 3 pack blisters, the build and battle boxes, your check lane blisters, your little mini album. If you notice, there's something that's missing here. It looks like they are discontinuing theme decks, which is pretty crazy. So if you're somebody who's a sealed collector, conveniently this right here, Vivid Voltage, this Charizard right here, did see a lot of love because Vivid Voltage was such an underprinted set. So if you're somebody who has a few of these or a couple of these, or you're able to find some of these, this is going to be the last theme deck, it looks like, that's going to be printed, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, looks like those are going to be gone. One other highlight that I wanted to bring up here when I talk about this new battle style set, if we go over on PokeGuardian, which is another really, really good resource. So these are both really good resources where you can get a lot of news, Pokebeach.com and PokeGuardian.com. But if you look over here, there is a Primeape. I am really, really, really hoping that Primeape gets an ultra rare. If you remember listening, if you've followed me and Dead Draw Gaming for a really long time before I was part of the Coliseum, Primeape has been like my OG love for a really long time, just because I love the fact that he's a monkey with boxing gloves. I've been calling and hoping for an ultra rare version of Primeape for a very, very long time, and I'm really hoping that this means that we're going to be getting a Primeape V card. We didn't get a Primeape GX card. We didn't get a Primeape EX card. So I'm really, really hoping that, fingers crossed, if there is a Primeape V card coming, I'm going to want every single copy. It is going to be amazing. So I'm really, really excited for this. Battle styles. A couple of things that I want to highlight when it comes to battle styles. The reason that I'm so excited about this is because Pokemon said in a presser release not too long ago that they were done with competitions for the rest of 2020, which makes total sense with everything going on with COVID. But the good thing is now is that there is a vaccine that is slowly starting to come out, slowly making its way around, and hopefully by the early 2021 we will see competition resume in some aspects. So whether it be local leagues, or whether it be league cups, or whether it be regional events eventually, it looks like the fact that they delayed this main set by about a month because they have Shining Fates coming out first, it looks like Battle Styles is going to be the first competitive set. And it wouldn't surprise me if competitive format began when Battle Styles becomes legal. So I don't know if that's actually accurate. That's just my opinion. That's just the way that I'm reading into things. It would be really cool if that's how it kind of all tied together. But you have March 19th, which means the beginning of April. I'm expecting and hoping that league play is going to resume, and this whole new mechanic that's coming into the game is going to change everything. especially if you're a competitive player who has been focusing on the game for a long time, because this brings a whole new element to everything, kind of starts everything off on an even playing field. So if you're somebody who's been into major competitive scenes for a long time and you took a little bit of time off lately, it helps you get back into it because there's a new mechanic that's been introduced. If you're somebody who hasn't really gotten into competitive play, but you've played a lot of PTCGO lately and you plan on getting back into it, well, now you have a whole new mechanic that you're going to have to learn. It's very exciting. It reminds me a lot of, if you remember, the ancient trait abilities that came, the ancient trait mechanic, I guess, that came with like Omega Barrier. These were around the Primal Clash and Ancient Origin days. Omega Barrier, where you could attack multiple times in a turn, or like Primal Groudon had its ancient trait where you couldn't target it with a trainer card, so you couldn't Lysander, you couldn't Crushing Hammer it, you couldn't do anything really to it, which made Primal Groudon extremely powerful in the meta. That's kind of what this reminds me of, this new mechanic that's coming into things. And if we look at Poke Guardian, has some pretty cool features here, or pretty cool card scans here. So this is your boss's orders card here with Lysander right there. That looks really cool. And then you've got some new energy cards that we already touched on a little bit before, just saying that they were coming. So this is Poke Guardian here. There's your scan of Emboar. Here's some trainer cards that are coming out. You have Pot of Vitality, Mustard, Single Strike Stance. So they've got these little icons in the upper right hand corner. I'm not going to read through all of these. You can kind of go on to Poke Guardian or Poke Beach and just get an idea of what's all coming out. But I do want to highlight the Single Strike energy here, just because, I mean, it reminds me a lot of fighting energy. So this card can only be attached to single strike Pokemon. While attached to a Pokemon, this card provides 1 dark or fighting energy, and then attacks from the Pokemon this card is attached to deal 20 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So we were talking before about that strafe attack for 30 damage. Now all of a sudden you're hitting for 50 damage, which is really cool. Back in the day when Landorus was so powerful, you could attach a couple of strong energies to it, which would do the same thing basically. And then you had a fighting stadium that you could add to it, and then a tool card that you could add to it and really start hitting for a lot just based off of 1 energy. And then the other energy card that's coming out is, let me scroll down here, Rapid Strike Energy. Rapid Strike Energy. So this card can only be attached to a Rapid Strike Pokemon. While attached to a Pokemon, this card provides 2 water and fighting energy at the same time. I'm assuming this means 2 water or fighting energy at the same time. There would have to be some clarity on the word "and" there, because there's no way that a energy card, or even a special energy card, is going to provide up to 4 energy. That wouldn't make sense. So 2 water or fighting energy at the same time is my assumption. Then you've got some cool mechanics in here. You've got some cool Pokemon. Mineshao. This card actually is basically a reprint with its spinning whip attack here for 90 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused, and then shuffle this Pokemon and all attached cards into your deck. So around, I don't know if this came out in Furious Fists, I want to say somewhere around that time frame. This did some damage at like League Cups, League Challenges. Or cities tournaments. I can't even remember what they were called back then. But very, very cool stuff. So the good thing about this set, like I said, if it does come out around the time that Pokemon starts back up its competitive play, the reason that I think that this is a really, really important set is because this starts kind of that whole thing that we've been talking about, that whole thing that we've been paying a lot of attention to when it comes to selling on TCG Player, selling on eBay, starting your storefront, and focusing a lot on hitting your margins. Because once you have competitive format, competitive events starting back up, all of these cards that we've been holding on to, all these cards that we've been pulling out, all these cards that we've been saving start to increase a little bit in value, and it turns from just a collector's market to also a competitive market. So you start having battle styles come out, and you start having a bunch of cards that could manipulate the meta. So people who play the game consistently are going to start wanting play sets, or 4 cards of every single trainer card that comes out. It starts bringing a lot more value to some of the cards in these sets. You don't see this gigantic downturn. I mean, there's still a decrease after a set releases, but you don't see as big of a drop off when it comes to ultra rares or trainer cards or things like that, which is really cool. And it should also spark your TCG Player account and your other e-commerce accounts to seeing a lot more sales when it comes to the competitive side of things. So definitely something to look forward to right now. It's definitely something that I would recommend looking into, especially as the scans continue to get revealed. So pay attention to when these sets start coming out in Japan. Start reading the card scans, start familiarizing yourself with the competitive play, because this could make a huge, huge impact on things With that being said, let me know in the comment section down below what you think of the new mechanic, what you think of the battle style set. I'm really excited for it. I'm very surprised at the fact that there's no product images for the theme deck. Again, that could mean that we're not going to have them anymore. Pokemon already announced a couple days ago that they're going to get rid of staff promo cards altogether, which is crazy. The fact that the Vivid Voltage set was the last set that had staff promo cards, especially the fact that there was a Charizard and a Lugia in that staff set, means that an already short printed set and the last time that staff cards are going to be printed, those are going to be mighty, mighty, mighty popular down the road when it comes to collector value. So I would definitely, if you can find some decent pricing on some of those staff cards, I would scoop some of those up because holding on to those long term is going to be a really good investment. But Battle Styles looks really, really cool, and I'm very excited for it. So let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Also, if you guys want to pay attention over the next couple days, I should get all of the information set up for our next vintage box break. I want to say thank you to everybody for joining us again on the last one last week when we opened Jungle. We're going to open up a Fossil booster box that's on the way here right now, along with the next box that we're going to be doing after that, which is Team Rocket. So I'm very excited about that. The price point on this one is going to be a little less, but follow me on Instagram because I'm going to release it on my story first. That's where all the information is going to be coming down. So if you don't follow me currently, Danny.Phantump, Phantump, just like the Pokemon on Instagram. With that being said, I hope you learned something tonight. I hope you like these kind of things. If you do, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below. Give this video a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. I really appreciate all of you guys. I really mean that. So thank you so much for everything. And until next time, peace.